remember that marriage counselor you two went to named Dr. Ruth somebody?
Yeah.
Did you know she's bisexual?
So?
I mean, your ex-wife and this Ruth person, they're going together.
So, you're my new press secretary? Well, she looks like a dandy to me.
So, where do you want us to sleep?
I guess you and Miss Lula can have the guest room. It's the yellow one upstairs.
Oh, the yellow one upstairs. Doesn't that sound just wonderful?
And I seem to recall you promising not to French kiss me.
So, you don't have to worry. That wasn't French. That was Italian. This is French. Look, I hope you're not mad about what happened, or rather what didn't happen.
You mean, am I upset because you came over to my house, got into my bathtub, stuck your tongue down my throat, then hopped out, called your dad in prison, talked on the phone for 2 hours? No, I understand these things happen. Hey, it's just as easy for me to take a cold shower as a hot one.
I don't know what came over me. It's just you've been so nice, and I was feeling kind of vulnerable and grateful.
I understand you want to express that gratitude by French kissing. Hey, I'm the same way. If a woman lets me in front of her at the checkout line at Safeway, next thing you know, pow, I got her down on the ground and I'm pummeling her.
Look, I said I was sorry if I gave you the wrong signal.
Signal? What you call getting in a person's bathtub a signal? I'm sorry, but where I come from, that's a full-scale alert. I don't know what your girls were doing, but my guys were preparing for battle. But hey, we're all grown-ups here. Let's just forget it.
Look, I said I was sorry. And anyway, where do you get this big sense of entitlement? Haven't you ever been turned down before?
Yes, I've been turned down before, but never in my own tub.
And what is this fetish you have about your bathtub? Is it some kind of sexual pit of no return? I mean, if somebody falls into it, that's it?
Yes! I think that's a reasonable assumption for a man to make. Anything he comes across in his own bathtub should technically and legally be fair game.
Fair game? That's how you think about women, is fair game?
I wasn't talking about women. I was talking about soap on a rope. Look, let's just drop this, all right? I mean, you're making it sound like I'm begging or something. Just for your information, I do have an occasional date.
Well, just for your information, I haven't been out with anyone in 2 years.
So?
So? I think that might have been what made me a little vulnerable to you.
Oh, come on, Miss Lottie. I find this Princess Di act a little hard to believe.
I didn't say I was a virgin. I just said it's been a long, cold winter. I told you I had a bad relationship with a man, and after that I swore off men. Anyway, why can't we just admit that we are two lonely people who came together at the lowest points of our lives at a time when neither one of us should be in a new relationship? I mean, I should not have been in your bathtub. You had no business being in your bathtub. You had no business wanting me there. So why don't we just rejoice that we were lucky enough to escape with our pants on?
What do you mean the lowest points of our lives?
Oh, Miss Starr told me something about your ex-wife.
What about her?
Look at this. None of my business.
No, I really want to know what Miss Starr said, the woman who never gets anything right.
She said she heard your ex-wife is going to have a sex change operation. You know, become a man.
This woman is a walking tower of misinformation. Deandra is not about to become a man. Evidently, she doesn't even like men. She's dating a woman named Ruth.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Maybe that's why you felt it was necessary to reassert your manhood.
Reassert my manhood? Is that what you call it? Fine. You want to call it that? Fine, I'll buy that. Because let me tell you, when I'm sitting in my bathtub, minding my own business, and someone who looks like you floats by half naked, you're damn right I'm gonna say, hey, pal, it's time to reassert the old manhood.
You know, I think it's really a shame that you have to hide your insecurities with this sort of vulgar, good old boy bravado.
Vulgar, good old boy bravado?
Do you have to repeat everything I say? It really is annoying.
Annoying? You know what I find very annoying, Miss Lottie? All this journalistic psychobabble that you dispense so freely. Yes! My ex-wife is dating a woman, and while I openly admit that I have a little problem with the concept of the two of them slow dancing together, I will not be joining any of those support groups where I may run into more people like you who know absolutely nothing about my life, which, incidentally, happened to be going pretty nicely before you came into it. And you told me you were going to quit smoking.
I gave up sex. I can't give up everything at once. Okay, look, let's make a pact. Since we are going to be working in the same office together and it's apparent there is some attraction between us, let's just make every effort from this moment on to keep our relationship entirely businesslike and professional.
Fine with me. Just stay out of my bathtub.
Fine. And since I will be living here temporarily, I want you to feel free to have women over.
Well, thank you. That's very generous of you.
It's 3 in the morning. Who could be calling?
Hello? Yes? Yes, it is? Yes, she is. May I say who's calling? George Hamilton? George Hamilton, the movie star? I thought so. Hang on, she's right here. It's your friend, George Hamilton. Don't forget to tell him you're not dating.
I don't believe it, George the First. What are you doing in Madrid? Oh, that sounds fantastic. Who's directing? Oh, good choice. Yeah. Well, yeah, but it is 3 o'clock in the morning here. No. He's just somebody I work with. We're sort of having a pal party. Friday? When are you getting in? I'd love to see you, yeah. But you can't come to my apartment. It's just really not organized yet, so why don't I meet you? Of course I remember. 7-ish? Maybe this time we'll get a waiter who's sober. Okay. Oh, great. Good. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Did George ask you out?
He's just a friend. This is not a date.
Oh, come on, don't be modest. The man's a movie star. And a really tan one, too.
I can live without your sarcasm.
I'm not being
Well,
sarcastic.
then what was that supposed to mean?
Well, I just mean, after all the trauma of that long, cold winter, looks like spring thaw is finally here.
And I say to you, we have had enough of trickle-down economics. I think it's time for a little trickle-down humanity. Pause here for dramatic effect.
Oh, no. Senator, that's a stage direction. You don't read that part.
Oh,
Excuse me, but I don't think it's a good idea to put the stage directions in the speech because, with all due respect, Senator, you might forget and read them out loud the way you just did.
Well, I have been warned about it. You'd think that'd be enough.
No. I wrote the speech. I'll take them out.
No, you shouldn't have to do it yourself, Miss Lottie. After all, you're a press secretary, not an eraser girl.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah, I also like to go on record and say I really feel this trickle-down humanity line will be interpreted as a direct insult to the president.
Well, I was really just trying to add a touch of poetry.
This suit looks shabby. I don't know why they can't sell men's clothes in the gift shop. That way I get a discount. Miss Lottie, when I first came here, I cut quite a figure. Expensive tailor-made clothes, best cologne. But honest senators can't afford these things anymore. Hell, I've been going downhill now for 30 years.
That facial I gave you last night really perked up the color in your cheeks.
Was there something you wanted, Miss Starr?
Oh, yeah, just a reminder. He has that lunch today with Benny Barith.
That's the B'nai B'rith. It's Jewish.
Really? Well, Benny, he still has lunch with Mr. Barith.
That reminds me. It's Mrs. Smithers and my anniversary on Friday. Could you pick me up something in the gift shop, Miss Lottie?
Oh, certainly, Senator. What do you have in mind?
Oh, nothing too expensive. Belt buckle with a White House on it. And I also promised I'd take Miss Starr out to dinner that night. Think you could stand in for me, Mr. Hartman?
Well, sir, I would be afraid she might misconstrue my interest.
Miss Starr doesn't expect much. You'll be perfect. Don't you think so, Miss Lottie?
Oh, yes, sir. I think they're made for each other.
I certainly hope that rumor I heard about the ex-Mrs. Hartman becoming a man isn't true.
No, sir, it's not.
Well, good. Because, mister, it's a long way to go to get a date.
Well, Senator, maybe we should just go over the rest of the speech.
It's a terrible thing when marriage stops working. As you know, Mrs. Smithers, who at one time was also Miss Tennessee, is a great deal younger than me and very ambitious.
Sir, I don't really think we need to go into all that right now.
Truth is, I had a heart condition. She probably thought I wouldn't last this long, and then she'd get my Senate seat. Ha! But I surprised her. You know what happens, Miss Lottie, when you come to live and work in Washington, D.C., the center of the entire world, and you believe in something bigger than yourself, and your heart catches fire. It grows stronger. That's what happens. That's what happened to me. And if you're lucky, it can happen to you, too.
Anyway, we're sitting there talking about 3 in the morning, and George Hamilton calls.
You mean they're having an affair?
Well, no, she didn't actually come right out and say that, but they were practically having phone sex.
Well, you know, he was pretty good in that movie Love at First Bite.
So what's your point?
I don't know. I just mean he was pretty good, that's all.
Well, Marlon Brando was good in Apocalypse Now. You think she should be dating him?
I don't think that's any of our business. Man, you got a case for this girl, don't you?
Are you serious? You know, this morning she tried to fix the kids' breakfast. She ended up calling information to see how long it took to cook oatmeal. I mean, really, she is the most screwed up person I've ever met in my life. Me interested in her. That'll be the day.
That's a weird laugh. Where did that come from?
I don't know. I never heard it before in my life.
Come on, George Hamilton does not want to meet us.
Oh, no, sure he does. Anyway, you'd be doing him a favor. I don't know if I really feel like being alone with him. I mean, I guess my self-confidence has just been shot to hell. I mean, the last time he saw me, I was a completely different person.
How's that?
Well, for starters, I had clothes, money, and a place to live.
Ladies, mind if I join you?
Oh, no, have a seat.
Guess who I have a date with Friday night?
Bob Carey?
Who's Bob Carey?
Never mind.
It's Mr. Hartman. I didn't even know he liked me. I thought he was cute, but he just seemed so serious all the time, you know? Always asking me to try and remember who called, stuff like that.
So if I've got to spend Friday night with Dee Dee Starr, you and Mavis are going with us.
Why?
Why? Because I am not going to spend an evening alone with a woman who thinks the presidential heads on Mount Rushmore are a natural phenomenon.
I don't know. I just feel so old and tired and frumpy.
Hey, you know what you need? You need a makeover. My advice would be to get it permanent.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
I like her hair.
Anyway, I don't have any money.
Well, hey, you don't need money. My sister, who works at the Beauty Pit in Amarillo, Texas, she sells these relaxed curl permanents you can do at home. No frizz, no fuss, 30 minutes, and you're out on the town.
You're not really going to use that, are you?
What the heck?
I would really appreciate if you wouldn't smoke while I'm doing this. For all we know, this stuff is combustible.
All right. I'm trying to quit anyway. You know, secondary smoke is really bad for your kids.
Oh, I see. You've been blowing it in my face all week, but now you're going to quit for the kids.
That's right. Oh, by the way, I hope you don't mind, but I've asked Billy, Bob, and Mavis to go to dinner with George and me.
As a matter of fact, I do mind because I've asked them to go to dinner with Dee Dee Starr and me.
Well, maybe we could all go together.
Boy, it stinks in here. What happened?
Nothing happened. I'm just giving Miss Lottie a permanent. What do you guys want in your lunch boxes tomorrow?
I'll take some more of that pate.
Pate?
Yeah, it's goose liver, see? And it's good, too.
Now I know why you didn't have any change left over from the grocery store. Excuse me, what is this?
It's a cigar from Havana. Elliot wanted to take it to show and tell. He promised he wouldn't smoke it.
Miss Lottie sends those to her dad in prison along with the boxes of pralines. Those are from the French Quarter, and man, they are delicious.
You fed them these? No wonder they've been on the ceiling all day.
We're not on the ceiling. We're tired. That's right. I can't do my homework.
Why not?
Because we stay up and watch Letterman. That's a good show, Dad. They have these stupid pet tricks, and Miss Lottie and Ben were cracking up.
There really was this very funny dog. He would stand up on his hind legs, and he'd stand perfectly still, and then just kind of wiggle his hips.
Excuse me, Miss Lottie. When I put my children down at 9 o'clock, I really don't expect them to be up at 1 to watch a dog wiggle his hips on Letterman.
There's this one guy named Larry Bud Melman. He's hilarious.
Okay, look, sorry, I don't want to hear about Larry Bud Melman right now, all right? I want you two boys to march upstairs, brush your teeth, and get into bed. I'll be upstairs in a minute to tie you in. You know, it may seem harsh to Miss Lottie, but we do have a curfew around here.
Well, I never had a curfew when I was growing up.
Really? Why doesn't that surprise me? Coming from a person who would send children off to school weighted down with tobacco and pate.
Good night, Dad.
Good night, son.
Hey, Miss Lottie, here's some more of that bubble gum.
Oh, hey, thanks, guys. Hey, give me 5. You too. Good night.
Good luck with your hairdo.
Thank you.
Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
How important was it to set the timer?
I did this to me on purpose.
Look, we've been over this 100 times. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I am not a professional hairdresser.
No duty.
Come on, let's just go get these damn dates over with.
What could have possessed me to take a beauty tip from a woman who has rhinestone initials on her fingernails? I knew when I brought that little cardboard box home that this was going to be a disaster, but you know, it's kind of like you've been shot up with a lot of bullets, but you're still not dead. So you just have to keep looking for that last one that's going to finish you off, the one that gets you right between the eyes.
Relax. People are not going to be looking at your hair. They're looking at your dress.
Why? Because it costs $9 at the bargain barn and it itches?
No. Because of the way you fill it out.
Oh, come on, tell me the truth. I look like the lion in The Wizard of Oz.
Don't be silly, you do not. Maybe Cornelius in Planet of the Apes.
Look, Georgianne feels bad enough. Let's just stop talking about it, okay?
Where did she go anyway?
She's in the bathroom. She's trying to get out some of the curl.
Won't do any good to comment.
She's not. She's holding it under one of those wall blowers.
Okay, when this George Hamilton person shows up, I'll handle him, okay? I'm sure he's very shallow, and I don't want him saying some thoughtless remark that's going to reduce her to tears.
George!
Well, it looks like he's making her pretty happy right now.
Wow, talk about you're glad to see ya.
Now that's what I call a kiss.
Yeah, well, just wait. He hasn't gotten a really good look at her in the light yet.
George, I have some friends I want you to meet. Everybody, this is my dear friend, George Hamilton. Although I call him George the First, he calls me George the Second because I'm younger.
Oh, that's very cute.
This is John Hartman.
Hi, how are you?
How do you do?
And Dee Dee Starr.
I just love your outfit.
Thank you.
And Billy and Mavis Davis.
Howdy.
My pleasure.
You know, I gotta say, we really enjoyed you in that picture, Love at First Bite.
Well, thank you. It was a lot of fun. Permit me to introduce myself.
Did you hear that? Permit me to.
Oh my gosh, I don't believe it! You told them to play this.
I swear.
This
No,
was
I
our
didn't.
song when I was in Canada. I was doing a profile on Pierre Trudeau. You told them.
No way, but we can't waste it now, can we? You don't.
Oh, no, you kids go have fun. We'll be here.
Well, Miss Lottie sure has perked up since he got here, hasn't she?
You know, I have to admit, he's not my type, but he sure is nice looking.
Oh, come on. Nobody's that tan. It's a joke.
He has the whitest teeth I've ever seen.
I think he looks like $1 million.
Yeah, I think he looks like Al Jolson.
So we're on this boat, and it's, what, about 2 o'clock in the morning? And George the First here has paid the orchestra to stay late. You know, wherever we go, he pays the orchestra and the waiters to stay late.
That is such a cool trade. How come you guys never do that?
Because we're boring.
So anyway, there was a seagull, and he'd hurt his wing, and he was about to go under.
Wait a minute. I've never heard of a bird being out at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well, this bird was, okay? Anyway, so the bird is in trouble. George here rips off his tuxedo in front of everybody, dives in, and saves the bird.
Wow, that was sure nice.
They say there are some places with too many seagulls. You know, overpopulation caused by people helping them.
Oh my gosh, not again!
I can't believe it.
I can't either. I swear they're playing all our songs. Remember this one we danced on the balcony of the old Laguna Hotel?
Remember the sunset?
Oh, it was this one afternoon. It was incredible how it just hung there on the horizon for the longest time and then just disappeared. And then George stands up, starts to clap, then everybody follows until there's a standing ovation.
You guys don't want to hear this, do you? We're boring you.
No,
No, not at all.
I just can't get over how tan you are.
Well, he's got a tanning booth in his house, don't you? What do you spend, a couple, 3 hours a day in there?
No, actually, I got this in Africa a few weeks ago when I was doing some work for the Commission on World Hunger. And then, of course, I am also part Native American, which is why I'm so involved right now in preserving that culture as a part of our national heritage.
Hey, what are you doing out there?
Howling at the moon? What are you doing?
I couldn't sleep. What? Why are you crying?
Oh, I don't know. Because my mother died. Because I miss my dad. My hair looks stupid.
Listen, I want to apologize for acting like a jackass.
Why did you have to keep challenging George? It was so childish. I mean, who cares who's got the most money in his pockets?
Hey, I said I was sorry. It's just something about guys like that rub guys like me the wrong way.
What do you mean guys like that?
I mean, you know, guys who pay orchestras and waiters to stay up all night and run around saving seagulls and clap for sunsets. You know, I've clapped for a few sunsets in my time.
When?
In my car, right here on the patio. You know, I just don't make a big deal out of it.
You know, tonight I was trying to get back something that just wasn't there. And the more I could tell it wasn't there, the harder I kept pedaling that bike.
Oh, so that's what you were doing.
You know, the only thing dumber than taking beauty hints from Miss Starr would be to fall in love with you. It's bad enough that I'm in love with your kids.
Wait a minute. We might be in the same boat here. You know, if it'll make you feel any better, you know, I certainly don't need this after the year I've had. I mean, you think it's fun for me being attracted to you? Hell, I've got it so bad I spend half my time at work throwing pencils under your skirt and diving for them just to get close to you.
Oh, this evening was so miserable. The harder I laughed, the worse it felt.
Yeah, well, that was pretty obvious. Listen, if you really felt that way, maybe we should, you know, go back and rerun this date again alone.
What do you mean?
Well, never mind. Just come on, get dressed. I want you to put on that $9 dress. Don't touch your hair. I'm beginning to like it.
Where are we going?
Out on the town.
All right, man, it's 1 in the morning.
Don't worry. Just go on up there. I've got everything under control. Come on, I've got to check the paper for sunrise time. Hey, guys, that was great. One more time, take it from the top.
Hearts of fire, create love, desire, take you high and higher to the world you belong. Hearts of fire, create love, desire, high and higher to your place on the throne. We come together on a special day, sing our message loud and clear. Oh.